All right, it looks like we're live for my Saturday morning live stream. Okay, so I woke up this morning and I had this idea that I wanted to map Africa because we shot an episode of the podcast yesterday, and we got into this game where you had to name all of the countries in Africa, and it made me realize how little I know about the continent. So I thought a good way to understand it better would be to make some maps for myself. So that's what we're going to be doing this morning. I'm a little bit tired because it's Saturday morning, so just liven me up and get the blood flowing. I thought what we'd do is we'd start with a little geoguesser of Africa, just to put us in the right place, put us in the right mindset. So let's go. Let's jump into some GeoGuessr in Africa. Right, this is hard. Okay, so we've got like a kind of very, very flat savanna type plain here. It doesn't look like desert, so I'm not going for North Africa. So I'd say somewhere in the south. Got very little clues here. We've got some electricity. So we're not completely in the middle of nowhere. Let's follow. There's a van up ahead. Let's see if we can catch it and see its number plate or find a sign or something. What we got? What was that sign? I'm sure there was a sign we were going to get to. No, just more electricity poles. All right, let's keep going. We need to find something, some kind of clue. What was that? There was a gate there. Did that gate have a sign on it? Can we read it? No, it's too small. Okay, I'm definitely getting like South Africa vibes here, though. Could be the outback in Australia. Oh, actually, we know it's Africa because I was going to say it's the outback in Australia, but we know we're only doing Africa here. So it's a loader. Yeah, this is hard. You've got to be a GeoGuessr black belt for this. All right, I think we're just going to have to take a wild guess in here. I'm saying South Africa. It's part of the dry area. We're in the middle of nowhere. It looks very, very flat. So where's the kind of flats looking place? I'm guessing these darker areas here are hills. I'm going to go here. Right, let's see how we go. All right, not too bad. I was in South Africa. We got the right country. 3,100 out of 5,000. Right, let's do the next one. See if we get a. All right, same thing again. That's pretty cool, the way the sky looks there. All right, we're on another lane in the middle of nowhere. Well, this one's tarmacked. Tarmac there. Some initials for a road repair. Oh, wow. Look at this. This is like when you go through one of those Google Maps time warps. 1 minute we're on a little lane, and then all of a sudden we're on this big highway that's getting built here. Big trucks. Big truck going across the continent. Okay, now it's been paved. We're stepping through time. This truck looks quite modern. Okay, so I've lived in developing countries, so I know that in developing countries, the trucks tend to look very ramshackle, and it's a Renault, and they're driving on the right-hand side of the road, and a new road here. You know, I'd be kind of leaning towards South Africa here again, to be honest with you. This is really hard. Let's go see what the next couple of cars are, because South Africa's one of the wealthier countries, or the wealthiest possibly, GDP per capita on the continent. I don't know. Yeah, got some pretty decent equipment here. It's definitely not looking tropical, looking at all of the foliage. Oh, there we go. We've got a sign here. Eco. Yeah, got the classic Toyota van, synonymous with the developing world. I've had a lot of bumpy journeys in those. Motorbike fully loaded to the hilt. We're not going to get any clues here again, are we? And we've hit the end of the road. It won't actually let me go any further. So we're going to have to take another wild guess. I'm going to go South Africa again. It's not looking as barren as before, and we were seeing some big trucks. So it's not going to be this main road, because this wouldn't be a road that's only just being developed like this in South Africa. It's going to be one of these back roads. I'm probably way off. I'm probably even in. Let's have a go, see where we are. I am completely wrong. Where are we for future reference? We're in Senegal. Okay, Senegal. Okay, Renault. The Renault lorry. I should have been looking at French-speaking countries, shouldn't I? The French connection. All right, we'll do one more just to finish the warm-up. Okay, right, here we go. We've got some clues. We've got a Toyota Camry, the classic. I have one of those, a 1990 Camry. They are everywhere in the developing world. They're basically indestructible. One of the best cars ever built. All right, let's go over here. We've got some signage. Let's see if we can see some language that'll give us a clue. And we've lost it. And we've got some school kids here, blue uniforms. Doesn't ring any bells. I can see a tuk-tuk up ahead. So yeah, I think we're looking at West Africa, maybe, possibly Nigeria or somewhere. Let's go in there. Churchin, that church. Okay, so it does look like English language is used. Some good old police shaking people down. Let's see if we can get some signs on there. What have we got? Supporting our communities, 007, toll free. Don't recognize the uniforms. Oh, I'm getting like Nigeria vibes from the clothing from the guys in the vehicle. Slow down. All right, we need some signage. What have we got here? Erido Post Office, Lagos. All right, okay, we are in Nigeria. That says Lagos, but we must be right on the outskirts here because right. So zoom into the right area. All right, so there's Lagos. Lagos is like densely populated, but this is looking pretty rural. There's probably a road leading into Lagos. POS. Let's go over here, see if we can see some signs. Well, Archbishop Jimmy Christ founded tomorrow. Lagos State Governments. We're in Lagos State. Go back. I'm out of control. I saw Ayaboa there. Augustine University, Lagos State. Let's get a bit closer. Gardens, Lagos State. All right, we don't want to spend too much time on GeoGuessr today, so let's put a line in the sand. I'm going to go. This is in the outer suburbs somewhere. It's pretty interesting where it just comes to an end. Let's go. We're gonna say we're here. All right, let's go. All right, okay. I was in the right ballpark. Okay, we're all warmed up. Got some Africa pictures. So, what type of maps are we going to draw? We're going to make today. So, what I wanted to make what I'm thinking at the moment. My idea. So let's make a Google. Let's make some notes here. So let's bring up my notepad. Text editor. Right, we don't want any of that. Let's get a new. Open up a new window. All right, there we are. So what I'm thinking today is I'd like to have a map of the countries of Africa. And I'd like to know some basic. We're just going to get the basics in this map. This is all I want to know. So I really like to have a map that shows me what's the population, okay? Because there's some countries that we know have got a largest population, your Nigerias and your South Africas, but there's so many countries that are changing so quickly in Africa. It'd be good to see what's going on there. So then it'd be interesting to see GDP, and then it'd be nice to see GDP per capita. So we can see, how big's the country? How powerful is it in the grand standing of things? And then how wealthy is it for each of the individuals there? And I think for bonus points, I'd quite like to see median age, because that's a really interesting metric. Because if you have a very low median age, this is usually countries in developing worlds that are on the up. They have that demographic dividend, or at least it's in the post. If the population's getting a little older, you start to think, is growth slowing? Oh yeah, it would probably be quite just growth rate. Okay, they're the basic ones. I'm going to go and see if we can find that data and put it all into a map. We're going to be preparing the data first in our trusty QGIS. Let's get QGIS up. I always get this error. If anybody knows what that's about, let me know in the comments. It doesn't seem to affect anything. So we're going to go QGIS. And of course, once we're done with it, we're going to be uploading these maps to MapStack, and they're going to get featured on the next podcast. So we have a workspace for the podcast. It's called the Unmapped. You guys can see it here. And we've got all of the maps from the podcast so far. So I'm going to drop it in there, and then I'm going to feature it in the next podcast that we will record on, I was going to say Friday, but it's actually going to be Thursday this time because Michael's going to a jiu-jitsu tournament in Bangkok. So, excuse me, have a little drip on my coffee there. So let's start with the easy stuff. Well, first of all, let's get ourselves some boundary data, so we've got like something in the map to begin with. So let's do the old shapefile search. Shapefile is not my preferred format, but Google just likes the word shapefile. If you put shapefile in, that's usually where you're going to find the data. Countries of Africa. Africa shapefiles, data sets, Open Africa. Oh, right, sweet. So straight away, we've got an open data portal, which is really nice. So we've got, all right, so data sets, Africa shapefiles, latest shapefiles for Africa containing South Sudan and Abyei. Okay, so we've got some new countries in the world. I always thought South Sudan was the newest country, but have we got an even newer one? Yay, let's have a little look at this. Where is it? What is it? So that's a breakaway section of South Sudan. On the border between South Sudan that's been accorded special administrative status. Okay, interesting. All right, so we've got this shapefile here. So let's explore. So download. So what am I going to get? Am I going to get all the shapefiles? It wasn't very specific about what I'm getting here. Nice quick download. So hopefully it's like generalized. Okay, got all the stuff there. Let's extract that. We are going to make a document data. Let's make a new folder. Well, no, I don't want to put it there. Oh, it's just dumped it in my data folder. So what's it called? Afra G 2014. It says it's the latest, but the date in there is 2014. But I suppose if the latest border changes are South Sudan and they're in there, that's good enough. Yeah. So let's go into the folders, my documents. Like taking people into my folders on a live stream. I hate it. It's like taking someone into your house when you've not tidied up your bedroom yet. Or I'm not sure where I said my bedroom, not tidied up the front room. 40-year-old man now, don't take my friends to my bedroom, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to make a new folder. Okay, so this is one of the things that really winds me. One of my little pet peeves with the file explorer here, like creating a new folder in here, you have to right click to do it. But if you have it in list view like this, there's nowhere on the screen that you can right click. And if we go down to the drop down menu, there's no new folder thing. So you have to go to grid view, new folder, call the folder, right, let's call it Africa data. And then I have to switch back to list view. Okay. Linus, sort that out. Get on it. Program that we use, what's it called again? I've forgotten it. Just called Files in the Genome Project. I thought it used to be called Nautilus. Anyway, I'm waffling. Let's get back onto the QGIS one and let's pull in this data and we're going to see what we have. So go in the old folder picker. We're going to go to the documents. Request again, QGIS guys, black theme. We need dark theme. I think every product when it gets to 10 years old has to have a dark theme. That's right, there we go. There we go, Africa. And we've got all of the different parts of Africa here, including the sort of contentious parts. So Sudan is absolutely huge, isn't it? It's huge. And then we've got this special administrative area here again. What was that called? It was called Abyei. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Abyei. Okay. So there's the data. Okay, so let's see what we've got in the attribute table here. It'd be amazing if they're just given us, imagine if they're just given us everything that I wanted straight away. That would be cool, wouldn't it? So what have we got in here? We have got, okay, so we're going to do my Chris's old open data scorecard here for all of the open data we look at today. So not good because we've got lots of things here that don't make too much sense. Okay, so we can work out what these are. Anyone who's worked in GIS can work out what these are. ADMO code name. So what that's saying is administration level 0 code, administration level 0 name, continent. And then we've got all of these things over here. ISO 3. So these would be the standard 2 and 3 letter codes. UNI, some kind of UN number, maybe. UNDP. Okay, so one side of the UN's doing one thing, UN development program's doing something else. That's how the UN is. I've worked for the UN in my career, and the bureaucracy can be, I think it'd be fair to say, pretty interesting. Okay, and then we've got all these other numbers here, but some of these we can't even guess what they are. CMAC, CLIS, CRA, none of it explained. So I always downmark data for when you don't have human readable names, basically. I know this is a limitation of the shapefile format, but I think it's something that's just, we're moving away from the shapefile. You know, in a post shapefile world, we should no longer see this. I think we should have long descriptive titles. If we go back to the open data site here, we're not provided with anything where we can go and look up what those column names actually mean either. So a little bit of a pain. So down score there, but the plus score on my open data review. So how I usually score it is what's the data actually like? Okay, so the data in here, yeah, it looks good. We just opened it up in QGIS, worked straight away. Did really well on the search engine, bang, first result, open Africa, know what I'm dealing with. Looks like a cool portal. It'd be good to see it straight as a map here. I'll give this like a solid 7 out of 10. Okay. Right. So what I'm actually going to do, the first thing I do whenever I jump into data like this is, and I'm going to start building a map. If I don't know what something is, I'm basically getting rid of it. Okay. So the only things that I need in here are things that are going to allow me to do joins in any of the other data, in any of the other data points that I'm going to go and find and join into this. So where's my notepad gone? Here we are. So I'm going to go and look for population, GDP, blah, blah, blah. So this data might be in spreadsheets rather than a map. So I'm going to need to join it in. So I need as many join points as I possibly can. So what that means is we're going to get rid of the things that aren't going to help me with that. Okay. So this is going to be helpful. The code, the name will be helpful. We don't need to know it's in the continent of Africa because we've got that. We'll keep that code. We'll keep all the codes. Okay. All of these things that might be a unique identifier, we're going to keep all of those. All of this stuff over here, we're getting rid of all of that. Okay, we're gonna put this data set on a diet. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of the continent and anything from that AFR onwards. Can I do shifting? No, I can't. Okay. All right, let's get rid of all of these. Let's thin it out, thin the herd, and we'll chop off some of those other IDs in at the end. Like I'm not sure. You know, it's clear to me that the world needs like one unique identifier. So these admin codes here. Thoughts in the comments below if you've got a suggestion for which should be the default. Like this one obviously shouldn't because South Sudan doesn't even have one. So UNDP hasn't even given. So we're going to get rid of this one straight away. Okay, so so that's interesting. So all of these newer countries, it looks like the UN and the ISO departments haven't got their act together and actually allocated them something yet. Why is Egypt 40,765? Surely Egypt is one of the oldest countries, continuous countries on Earth. I'm not sure. But like I said, we're leaving them all there for now. Let's hit the save button. So what we're going to go looking for now, and I think that UNDP is going to be important because a lot of data that gets collected for developing countries, it's often the government of the country in partnership with organizations like UNDP, the United Nations Development Programme, or the World Bank, or other organizations that are collecting the data. So it's probably going to be important that we have their codes to join on. So let's say Africa, countries, population, CSV, because that tends to put us on an open data site. Right, so there we go, World Bank. So World Bank straight away, population total Africa. We don't want the total. Countries in Africa 2023 population review, population division, right? See what the UN's saying. Demographic indicators, file, CSV, notes, location. Okay, so we might hit everything in one here. So what have we got? We've got total population as of the 1st of July. Is that this year? Female, male, rate of natural change, births, population growth rate. Is there any economic stuff in here? Life expectancy, female life expectancy, under fives, mortality, net number of migrants. Okay, so I think we've hit the mother load here just straight away. Looks like we've got all of the data from 1950 to 2021. Deaths. Not economic data, though, it looks like. No. Okay. All right. So we've got the social side. So we want to make a socio-economic map. So this looks like it's going to give us the socio. So we've got an indicator reference. So it looks like they're going to give us a lookup table. So we're going to get some pretty funky column names, it looks like. I reckon this is going to be a pretty funky looking data set that's going to need a bit of wrangling. So let's go and grab it and see what we have. See what we're working with here. Yeah, 7.8 megabytes. How many countries are there in Africa? Let's go to QGIS. I'm not sure what the total number of countries there are in Africa. About 59. Okay, so there's 59 countries right there. Yeah, this is going to be a big data set. What format? Right. So let's extract that. We know where we want to put it, don't we? Documents, data, Africa, extract. All right. So there we go. So 20 megabytes unzipped. Okay, so this is going to be a spreadsheet from hell. Prepare for the computer to hang. Let's open it up with LibreOffice. So LibreOffice, what have we got here? See, all of this is going to be in a single. Oh, this is going to be a nightmare, isn't it? This is going to be every year. It's going to be one of those data sets. It's going to be every country in every year. Oh, it's not broken down by country, I think. Development group, small island, hand income countries, Rwanda. Okay, right. So it's got every single country in here. So UN, you're getting seriously bad grades here for this in my open data scorecard. I hate these data sets. These really annoy me. So what they've basically done, you can see here, is they've got every single data point from Egypt from 1950 to today, all just stacked on top of each other. This is the kind of data is really, really difficult to work with. It's comprehensive, no doubt. It's comprehensive, but what we should be looking at here is there should be some kind of filter in here. I should just be able to say, listen, I only want 2021. Only give me 2021. Download of major special groupings. So we've got this population. Okay, so we might be able to pull some of this out individually. I think that's what we're going to do, because trying to work with a mega spreadsheet like that is a major pain in the derriere. So let's go and get one of these. So let's get the population. That was one of the things that we wanted by single age, both sexes. All right, let's get that. 161 megabytes. Oh, yeah. The UN. I've worked on projects, open data projects for the UN before. I worked on one for, it was a World Bank project and UNICEF, I think it was. And when you do open data by committee, this is what you end up with. You end up with like 161 megabyte spreadsheets, because everyone says everything's got to be in there all of the time. Usability does not even factor into the conversation 9 times out of 10. It's just, we need to tick all the boxes. Here are the boxes. We need to tick them all. Who cares if nobody ever uses it? Okay, and this is where we, rant alert. This is where we get this problem with accessibility of open data. This is not accessible. Okay, this is not accessible. This is terrifying. I'm downloading population by single age, both sexes, as a spreadsheet. It's 160 megabytes, 160 megs. Like, look at the spreadsheet that we were, I think I've closed it down now, but the spreadsheet we were looking at a second ago. I work with data all the time. So yeah, if I would know, how to extract the data from this that I needed. It would take me some time. But I could get what I needed from here. It's also ripe for error. I could go in and delete some of these things and then go and delete it all by year, lots and lots of filters. It's very easy when you're doing that to miss some things out. It's very easy to miss a row or miss a column. Okay, and that's me. I work with data all the time. For anybody else who doesn't work with data all the time, these kind of things are just impenetrable. Okay, they're impenetrable. A lot of these data sets are put together, especially for the UN, by consultants, and the consultants, they don't have any consideration for everyday people that would like to answer questions for themselves, who would like to become more data literate. This is not helpful. Do you know what? I'm going to go and look somewhere else, because I just 161 megabytes. I know what's going to be in there already. It's going to be a hot mess. All right, so let's go and look somewhere else. So with Africa. Countries by population. All right. So data from the World Bank. Okay, so let's see if the World Bank's doing a better job here. Oh, they might have a map as well. No map. So what we got here, we've got some charts. We only want 2021. Oh, yeah, look at all these populators. Up. Okay. All right, so that's more presentable. Okay, good job. Well, the chart doesn't actually work, but if it did work, that would be cool. And there's a map. All right, so there's a map of the whole world. We don't want the whole world. We're after Africa here. Right, so let's see what we get from the World Bank if we have this CSV. We'll go in the Data Explorer in a minute. I've been in their Data Explorer before. It's a mess. Now, that seemed to download very quickly, which would indicate to me that there might not be much. Well, it's still pretty big, 183 kilobytes. CSV document, absolutely cryptic file names. World Bank on our open data score. I'm going to score this right now. So open data. So what goes into the score? So what's kind of cool is they've made the they've made the data presentable. So rather than just giving you raw data, we actually have something that we can explore here. It doesn't actually work, but if it did work, nice thought, nice thought. The map works. We're looking at Africa data. It's mapped the whole world. So we can't really see any of the variation inside Africa, which isn't very helpful, but the thought is there. The thought is there. Okay, we've got the information listed here on the website. We don't need to download it first. Can I sort these tables? Oh, yeah, we can do some basic sorting. So this is great. This is how open data should work. Is some people just want a quick answer. They don't want to download the data and do all kinds of messing. And I can get some quick answers in here. What's the most populous country in Africa? Nigeria. What's the least populous? The Seychelles. Okay. So I can get some interesting information. I can see straight away that everywhere in Africa is trending upwards big time. Okay, so, and yeah, that's kind of cool. And then I come and get the data. I've got a little range of formats here. I download the CSV. So this is all good. Like at the moment, this is looking like a 9. I'm like, a really good job if this was all working. Good job. And then we go and get the raw data, and this is what we get. API SP pop total DS2 NCSV V2. This is like some database nonsense. Okay, maybe your IT department want to call it that to make some sense of it. But when you actually turn it into a file, give it a human readable name. If I drop this on my hard drive right now, okay, so I'm gonna get that file. If I dropped it just in my downloads folder, okay, and then I forget about it and I want it next time, I'll never find that file again. I'll never recognize it. So we're going to put it in here, and we're going to extract to here, and we're going to go in there. Now, what I'm going to do straight away is I'm going to rename this, give it a human readable name. This is what they should have done in the first place. So you've dropped some points there. You've gone from a 9 World Bank, you're now down to a 7 just for that. Not a 7, okay, an 8. It's annoying, but I know what's going to be inside now. Population by country. That's a good name to call it. That's human readable. It's friendly. Right, let's open this up in LibreOffice and let's see what we're dealing with. Okay. All right, this isn't so bad actually. Okay, you might be still here on a World Bank. Okay. It does annoy me when we get these extra lines in a CSV because I'm going to have to crop those in a minute. But look what we got here. We've got human readable names, country code, indicator name, and all of the years. This is a cool piece of data here. So what was the name of the new country? Let's make sure this is up to date. So I've forgotten the name of it now. What was that country between the two Sudans? Okay, so what was it there? Abyei, YEI. Okay, so let's go to that spreadsheet and let's see if we've got Abyei. We don't. This is where you get into problems with data and politics. Okay, so this might be one of those countries a little bit like Taiwan, where there's a lot of debate about is it a country? Is it recognized? Who recognizes it? So it looks like Abyei is not there. Do we have South Sudan? Oh no, they've done that one where they've put the regions inside the file as well. That's really annoying. Just if there's there's not a country called Africa, Eastern and Southern. Okay, don't mix that in. Don't mix your data sets up. Okay, so we've got South. So we've got South Asia. What? Singapore. Okay, right. So this data set is not just Africa; it's the whole world. Okay, right. So right, let's get rid of this. Okay, so right, the final score for the World Bank Open Data website. Sorry, World Bank, you dropped the ball there. You just gave us the whole world data when all I wanted was Africa. That's why it's all on the map here. Africa, it's not been filtered. Right, I'm going to give you a 6 out of 10. Well, the charts are working now. Right, let's go back again. We're going to move away from the World Bank. Oh, it's one of those ones where everything you've clicked inside the app is giving you a back button. List of countries in Africa by population. So let's go to a commercial website now. So we've used the what I would call the public sector. I still count the UN and World Bank as the public sector effectively. They're not revenue generating entities. We're not in the traditional sense of the word. Oh, this is nice. Okay, so here we go. We've got a map of Africa. We've got them by population. This is cool. A few ads popping up all over the place. Not so cool. Let's see if we've got the newest country. I can't zoom in on the map. Okay, but it doesn't. I can't see the little box for UBA. I'll remember it in a minute. It's early in the morning. Forgive me. Some nice charts. Cool. Some tables that allow us to do. Oh, we've got some socioeconomic data in there, which we also know we're going to be doing. And they don't give us the actual data. Okay, nice work. Loads of ads though. If they put as much attention into providing the data as they do, oh, I don't want to click on the ad. Go away. Let's go down here, and they've named their sources. So about us, UN member states, world population prospects, country area 2019. That's probably the area. Countries by land area, GDP per capita, International Monetary Fund, GNI per capita. Okay, so they've done a bit of the work for us. They've found where the data is. So we're back to the UN again. So here's the UN member states. All right, they're not really showing us where they got the data from. Okay, I'm not going to walk through these and count the population of each of them, am I? United Nations World Population Prospects. Is this open data? Download data files. Data portal. What do you reckon? Let's go. Oh, right, here we are, back here again. Yeah, we're not going in there. That is absolute garbage. We know that already. So let's try their data portal. Maybe I'll be able to do a bit of mixing and matching. So I'm going to drink my coffee. It's going cold. Please select the indicators. All right, so we want crude population. No, we don't want every single population. We just want what is the population. No, we don't want it by sex. We want everybody. Female population, reproductive median age. Ooh, we want that later. Let's see if we can get all of the data set just put into one thing. That might be worth it. So what do we want here? We said we wanted the median age, didn't we? I just want the population of the country. I don't want it by age and groups. Rate of population change. Am I missing something here? Total population by sex. I suppose we could add them together, can't we? So let's do that. Fertility, mortality. That's a bit dark. We're not going there today. Marital status. Yes. Catch those fornicators. So it looks like the UN is not going to give us GDP stuff, but that'll probably be the IMF, like there was in the data before. So let me go back to my notes. What are we going for? So population, median age, growth rate. That was GDP, not population. But it might actually be interesting to have that as a population one as well. That would be pretty cool. So crude rate of natural change of population. What does that mean? Little info button. The crude rate of natural change is the ratio of the natural change during the year, live births minus deaths, to the average population in that year. The value is expressed as 1 per 1,000 people. It'd be nice to have a population of that, wouldn't it? Percentage of total population by broad age group. Population change. All right, that's simple. Difference between the two population sizes of consecutive years. Is that expressed as a percentage? Rate of population change. This is what we're after. P1 and P2, consecutive years, it is expressed as a percentage. Okay, right, that's what we're after. Get that. Location, we just want Africa. UN regions, am I going to have to click every single country in Africa? Right, so let's get rid of the select all. Let's just say Africa. Boom. Okay. Wow, UN. Date range, 2062. No, thank you. What we would like is, let's have the last piece of data that wasn't made up. So I think the last recording we saw, the data point, the newest, is the 2021. As we've seen in some of the other podcasts, the forward projection ability of the UN is often quite questionable. We've seen in a lot of data sets where there's a clear trend in the data. It's like a straight line, and then it gets to the point where they're projecting and there's an inflection point. I'm like, well, why was it straight? And then as soon as you start projecting, it goes off in a different direction. And then if you look at what their projections were 5 years ago, the same thing was happening. So I think there tends to be a lot of what you might call wishful thinking in forward data projection in the development aid sector. I think there's sometimes, I know this is going to sound really harsh, but I've worked in development aid, I'm not sure the incentives between always fully aligned between aid organizations and between how they get funding and what their overall goals are. To secure funding, it's often important for there to be a worsening picture, but the objective of the organization is to improve that picture. So there's this tension there all of the time, which sometimes results in like really weird things. Selection wizard or get started and search. Like, what does that even mean? After selecting indicators, location, start and end time, click search. Selection wizard, don't know. Let's just click this, go with the default. All right, there we go. So we just get all of Africa. Okay, I was just giving you points there, UN. So it's about to say you made that easy. So what I actually have to do is I have to click through every country in Africa, do I? Is that what I have to do? So let's deselect everything. Africa. It's only the places with Africa in it. So I would have to know all of the regions. Okay, all right. Okay, here we go. This is a bit more helpful. Africa, Eastern Africa, North Africa, Central Asia. Let's get rid of Central Asia. You're not in the mix. Go away. Southern Asia, you're not in the mix. Oh, it's basically every... Right, that's clever. So it's got everything selected by default. So we've got North America. Right, so let's unselect all. Right, so we want East Africa. Boom. We want Middle Africa. I didn't even know that was a region name. It sounds like Middle Earth. Northern Africa, Southern Africa, Western Africa. Is that all of them? And then Asia. Okay, cool. 104 locations selected. Now that doesn't seem right because I'm pretty sure that we just said that there were only 59 countries in Africa. So how are we... Let's make sure I haven't done anything silly here. East Africa. Can I deselect world? Oh no, it's like that. Okay, so you're going to get all of those in. Middle Africa. Northern Africa. Southern Africa. Western Africa. Okay, and nothing else is selected. All right. And now we have 50. But we still have 104. Anyway, let's just see what happens. We can always trim it afterwards. I was thinking about it. The hamsters are spinning. Let's get rid of this little hide thing here. There we go. We've got all of the countries. Somehow we've seemed to have Australia and New Zealand and Polynesia and the Caribbean. So that's where we got those extra countries from. So something was wrong in that filter. Like, how have we got Australia? What is going on? Ah, okay. So some are selected from these other... Right, get rid of all of those. Get rid of all of those. Okay, so now we should have a selection set of 0. Currently selected 283. How? Nothing. Oh, okay. Alphabetical. Deselect all. Still says we've got 283 selected. Aggregates. Oh, this is... It just turns them all on again. Region. Right, so let's clear everything. 0. Okay. Eastern Africa. Middle Africa. Northern Africa. Southern Africa. Western Africa, 58, and we're missing the country that one day I'll remember the name of it without having to go and check again. Abyei. Okay, we're apart from Abyei, so that looks good. I think we've got what we want now. Let's apply that. Cool. So there we go. There we have all the countries, and yeah, we don't have Australia at the bottom this time. And we've got fertility rate, median age, total population, sets by change. We can view this as a map, apparently. It's cool. Let's have a look. All right. That's about as helpful as a chocolate teapot. And we've got some charts and we've got some whatnot. But what we're going to do, we're not going to mess around here anymore. We're just going to get the data. A PNG. You've got to be kidding me. A PNG, really? Okay, right. So I could get the map as a PNG. So what we're going to do here is we like CSVs, don't we? Open data formats. Or what do you call them? De facto standards. I think that's what CSV is, a de facto standard. Not created by a standards body. It's just created by people that thought it was useful. The best kind of standards. It's called Unpopulation. That sounds a bit wrong. I know it should be UN population. What are you trying to do, UN? Trying to depopulate. Right. Okay, that looks a bit busy. Right, let's open it up. Okay, so cool. All right, so UN, that wasn't a bad job there. We got the data. We've got human readable names. Oh, we have got age ID variant. This is... All right, let's not start celebrating yet. This is absolute nonsense. Age ID, start, age, end, total, population, category ID. Okay, this is absolute junk. Yeah, well done, UN. That is absolutely useless. Right, let's go back in here. So fertility rate, median total population. So 44.5. What does... Really? Median. What? Both sexes, median rate of population change 3.2. So these numbers look like they actually make sense in here, but they don't when we open them up in the when we download them, which is... Can we copy and paste? No. Apart from this one, total population by sex, I'm pretty sure the population of Algeria is not 44. Okay, so where's Algeria on here? Find me Algeria. All right, let's go the other way. So Nigeria is 6.67 million. Okay, so I think what was happening is when we're looking at this table, it's expressed in millions. So let's get... Already, go on, let's get Nigeria. Where is it? Where are you hidden? Okay, so there we're there. So the median age, total population, 25. Okay, so it doesn't make any sense. The data's not lining up in here. Oh, that's fertility rate. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong vector. So median age, total population. That's how many thousands. It's expressed in thousands. Like what? Okay, so Nigeria, 223,805. Okay, now let's look at that table. Yeah, open data. If you can't laugh, you cry. All right, so there's Nigeria. Nigeria's population, yeah. So we'd have to times that value by 1,000 if we could get it out and it was in any kind of sense, right? So we just saw that the CSV was just absolute garbage. So let's download it as Excel and let's see if that's any better. Oh, it's got a header sheet. You always know when you're gonna have a crap spreadsheet is when there's a header sheet. All right, so let's get into the data. Okay, it's not too bad. That's not too bad. But I know what's going to happen here with this. If I start deleting things, it's gonna go haywire. All right, so we've got down here total population. Let's just get to Nigeria. Just make sure it's all... Use that as a sanity check. Yeah, it's still expressed as thousands. Okay, so I think we can work with this. Human readable names, bonus points to UN for human readable names. I thought we were going to have to go and look in some kind of lookup table down here, but we don't. So what we're going to do is I am going to export that as not as a spreadsheet. I want a comma separated value. Right, what are you doing here? So let's go another way. I'm confusing with QGIS. QGIS, you export. Excel, you save as. Okay, so we're going to save as a comma separated value in our documents, data, Africa data, Africa popular. Let's overwrite the other one because that was junk. Let's save it and we're going to get the old... This is only going to do the current sheet. Oh no. Do you want to replace it? Yes, we do want to replace it. And it's only going to do the current sheet. Use CSV format. CSV, yeah, field delimiter, string delimiter, save cells as shown. Warning, saving the document. All right, there's a lot of warnings there. So let's close this. Let's go in and let's open that up on its own. Make sure everything's cool. And we are. Okay, we're cool. We've got all the countries there. Okay, so let's spread those names over multiple countries, and we've only got these number IDs, that's the one bit that I'm a little bit worried about. 12. So Algeria is 12. What was okay? So Nigeria is 566. Let's just make sure we can join this before we go pulling it out. So Nigeria, where are you? Okay, Nigeria 566. Okay, so it looks like the code that we've got that we can do the join on is this UNI, so UN indicator maybe or something like that. Okay, so we're going to call that UNI because that seems to be what the other call it. Name. Let's get rid of that column. Delete the column. Okay, and fertility rate. So total fertility rate, both sexes. how does fertility rate work across? But I don't know. I better not ask. Let's go old school and we'll just call that fertility rate. Right, and then this one here, we're just going to go median age of the population. Who else? Median age of the, yeah, of course it's a population. Total population and population change, the percentage. Okay, there we go. And then we can bin all of these other ones here. Don't need those anymore. Delete the rows. Okay, cool. How many rows have we got? We've got 59. So we've got the same feature count. This is looking pretty good. So should we fix this population? Do you know what's really weird? I'm actually more comfortable in Excel, in QGIS than I am in Excel. So in Excel, I shouldn't call this Excel, LibreOffice Calc. I'm not entirely sure how I would times this by 1,000. Okay, but I do know how to do that in QGIS. So we'll do it over there. So let's save that. Let's go through all the questions again. So that's saved. Right, so let's go across to QGIS now, and let's open up that data set. We're going to open up I never find it. You guys have probably seen it already. Delimited text. It's going to open a delimited text file. Africa country population. There we go. CSV. Sorry, there's no geometry in there. QGIS. Sorry to disappoint you. Decimal separator first. I don't know. Let's just hit it and see what we get. Okay. Let's open her up. There we go. Cool. Ooh, that's weird. Why can't I edit here? Okay, maybe I'll have to edit after the join. Also, that is being expressed as an integer here for the join, but I think for some weird reason let's rename this data set as well, why we're here. Properties, layer name, Africa, country, boundary, generalized. I'm guessing it's generalized because the size of the file was pretty small. Okay, there we go. Right, that's a better name. So where was I? What was I going? Oh yeah, I suspect, I seem to remember when I went in the table here that they were the country names. So UNI, yeah, for some reason it's a float type. So we're going to have to sort that out because that's not good. It won't allow the join. So we're going to update an existing field. We're going to update the UNI field. Oh, I can't change the type weird, it's whole number. The type is whole number, but it's got loads of zeros across it. So why? Because that looks like a float to me. Precision 3. Okay, so it's a whole number with a precision 3. So let's just hit around and let's just see whether that sorts it out or not. Fields and values, UNI. No, it doesn't appear to have sorted it out at all. Does it? Right? Close without saving. So I'm not sure what actually happened there. So let's don't want to mess up the data before we've even started. Okay, so let's just make a new column. Output field name. We'll just call it _UNI, and then we'll change that in a minute. Change that _UNI. Whole number. Output length. It's a 3. Are they all 3? All right, so we don't want it to be any more than 3, and we don't want any precision there. And we're going to go to fields and values. UNI. 10 samples. Right, we don't want that. We want it. See, is round going to leave those decimals on there? So why are we getting that? So it's going to string them again. So I knew how to do this in QGIS. So strip decimals. Reducing decimal place, and I don't want to reduce them. I want to get rounded values in an attribute table to the nearest whole number. That's what we are. Good old Reddit. QGIS. Make sure the table is editable. Toggle. Yeah, we know all of that. Round. You describe the formula round, but there is also seal to round up and floor to round down. We just did that, but it didn't work. How to use the field calculator. Shapefile attributes table is kept in a DBF file, so that can be opened in a sorry, downvote. I'm not logged in. Going to start messing around with your raw DBF. Yeah, that's not a cool answer. All right, so I think this should work. I'm going to try it again and make it as a new column. If it doesn't work, then I don't know what's going on. Sometimes I have noticed this in QGIS is this like preview over here can sometimes be wrong. So let's just go and see what happens. Okay, so it did work. The preview output is the wrong part. Okay, so we've got that there. So now let's go and delete. Yeah, let's delete that UNI value. Why didn't it delete? UNI, go away. Okay, there we go. Deleted the UNI value. We've got this new UNI one here. Let's save that. Close out of here. And then, well, have I closed all of QGIS? No. So the other thing that we're going to do in the properties, so we're going to change the field name. So let's go edit. Let's get rid of that underscore. Okay, apply. There we go. Save. And all our data's disappeared. All right, we're good. We're good. All right, so I think we are ready to do the join now. So let's go in here. Let's go to properties. Let's hit the join. There's so many things in here now. It's difficult to find. All right. So Africa population, UNI. Yeah, then we're good. Apply. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't change the prefix. The prefix is going to like mess up all my naming now, isn't it? All right, let's go in the attribute table. You're going to have like this crazy. Yeah, we didn't want all of that. Okay, so are we still in edit mode here? What happens if I close without saving? Oh no, it's still there. Okay, so the bit that I didn't save was that when I changed the column name before. Okay, so I didn't leave edit mode. So let's just go in here. It's got to be horrible when you're watching this at home if you know how to use QGIS, because you're probably screaming at me. You're probably screaming at me, Chris, don't do that. Don't do that. Right, so let's get rid of that. Okay, good. Leave edit mode, save. All right, we're all good here. And then the joins, we're going to get rid of that join. Okay, because I messed that up, and we're going to do that join again. So we're going to go UNI. Now, the reason I never see it is it's always this, it's hidden here. So the problem is I think I don't know. I don't like how this works generally, but yeah, I'll just pop a little underscore there. That'll work better. So now we'll do the apply. Okay, cool. Now we're going to come in here and open up the attribute table. All right, now it makes more sense. Now it looks like we're actually missing four countries in here. Now, I'm not sure what to do with those. I think we'll just leave them nulled out for the moment and leave them as grey on the map, and then they could always be filled in later. Some pretty out there numbers. Okay, so yeah, we're looking good now. Now, what I always forget with QGIS is this is still temporary. I always forget, like, I've applied the join now. How do I save the join? I think I have to export it as a new layer again. But while we're here, let's just do a little map. Just see whether we're doing well. Symbology. Okay, so let's do a little quantity map. So what's the value? Let's go on total population. Nice simple one. 5 class breaks. Let's classify that. And let's hit why have we got decimals now? All right, we're not going to do an equal count. Let's do some natural breaks, still with decimals. I can't see the... All right, there we go. There we go. We don't want any precision. Okay, cool. Right, there we go. We've got a nice map now, and we can see the more populous countries and the less populous places. And we can also see the places that were obviously in doubt over here. This is these countries here. We've got a little spot here. That could be a lake. Could be something else, not sure. Yeah. All right. So we've got that first piece of data there. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to whack this into MapStack right now, because what we've been doing now is we've been going for how long has this been going for? We've been going for nearly an hour. I think that's long enough for this one. I'm going to finish off this data set on my own, so I'm going to add some additional data to it. So I'm going to go and find the economic data to go along with this, so the GDP data and the GDP growth, and then we'll talk about this on the podcast that we're going to shoot on Friday. So what we're going to do for now is let's just go and take this and let's put it in MapStack. So what we're going to do now is export. So this is where I always get confused between Excel and QGIS. So we're in QGIS world. We want to export when we want to get rid of it. Yeah, GeoJSON. Yeah, it knows how I roll. So we're going to call this Africa country population demographics, because we've got a few different data points in there, haven't we? Demographic. And it was 2021, wasn't it, the data that we were working with? Okay, so cool. GeoJSON Africa country 2021. Now let's put it in the folder. A little pet peeve of QGIS, it always takes you back to that root directory. It doesn't remember like the directory where I saved last time. The amount of, like, when I go to my root directory, the amount of junk that I find in there from things where I haven't done that, and it's just been saved in my home. So there we go. So we have, oh, hang on, where's my data? What's going on? Why is it not there? We're just talking about how that's annoying. And then, right, let's try it one more time. Property, and what am I doing? I'm not going to properties, am I? I'm exporting it. Okay, so we're going to go export, save features as, data, Africa data, GeoJSON, Africa country, what did I call it? Demographics 2021, right? Save. Now, did I not? Oh, I didn't press the OK button here. That's what I didn't do, did I? Maybe. Hopefully. All right. So it says it's working down there, 38%, 48%. QGIS really doesn't like GeoJSON, does it? It's quite slow. A little bit slow. Everyone's using, OGR and GDAL behind the scenes, so I'm not sure why it's quicker on some things and slower on others. Okay, there we go. We've got our Africa. Oh, it's too big. That's too big. That's way too big. We've got a 50 megabyte limit on Mango. So I thought that data that we were working with there was generalized, but it obviously isn't. So it's gone and got quite large. So I think what we're going to have to do, let's trim it down. We only need to take 8 megs off of it to get it into MapStack. So MapStack's got a file size limit because it might change in the future. Currently it's 50 megs, but we've done some calculations about what the hosting costs are because we're planning on hosting millions of data sets in the future. So, our maths at the moment says that we need to have some restrictions on the file size in order to make that viable, not only for the data storage is cheap, but the rendering and the processing power and everything like that. So let's open up the attribute table. So let's see what we can actually chop out of this, because maybe we could lose those 8 megs here. Although it's not. This is going to be kilobytes, isn't it? This is going to save us nothing by chopping up the attribute table. The problem that we've actually got here is that the country data that we have, that's not good as well. The country data that we have is obviously now. What should happen here is I should just be able to just go into QGIS and just hit do a generalization on this. But I'll be honest with you, I do find the generalization stuff in QGIS quite poor, as in the simplification, because we end up with loads of islands is basically what happens. So we can we'll give it a go. We're going to do the old Douglas Puka algorithm, and tolerance of 1 degree. That's actually a really big tolerance. That's going to turn it into like jagged polygons, I think, because 1 degree is huge on the surface of the Earth. Is there an extra thing here? Description field int type variable. There should be something else. It would be nice to have something in here that could show you what that meant in metrics. I know it's going to change depending on where you are in the world, but just like roughly, just to make that a little bit easier for everybody. So, right, so I'm going to go 0.01 and we'll see what happens. Is it going to make loads and loads of gaps in my island, or is it going to make my data gappy? Nobody likes gappy, do they? All right, let's go in. Are we gappy? We look. Oh god. Oh god. So yeah, it'd be really nice if QGIS, the simplification, had some better bits in it. I sometimes wonder, is QGIS animate lines, great buffers, hub lines. Have they added any simplification stuff? Change projection, gridify, sort, float text, text to float, search, select. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, so we've ended up with a lot of stuff there. So the other thing that I often wonder, so we've got this simplified layer here. Let's just see how big it is, just out of interest, to see whether it gets under our target size. See, I should have checked this before we started. Kicking myself. All right, so let's go in there and see how big the. I've got to hit the other screen, haven't I? Okay, boomer. All right, there's a simple one. Okay, 3.3. Okay, so we went way too hard on the simplification. So what we're going to do is let's remove that. It's getting a bit busy now. I don't really know what I'm dealing with here. So which was the one that we simplified? I don't know now. All right, that looks like good data. So what is this one? It's the brown one. All right, that is bad. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Remove. And then this one. All right, that's just the GeoJSON that I made, isn't it? Right, so let's try simplifying this one. What did we go for last time? We went 0.01. So let's go 0.001, because it was 3.3 megs was way, it can be 10 times the size of that and we're still good. So let's hit the run on that one. And we're going to get our new simplified data set. So for those of you who are watching who haven't done this before, there's standard algorithms for how you can reduce the amount of geometry inside a thing. And the tolerance basically means that you think of it like pixels. If you imagine pixels on a screen, each pixel contains one color. You're basically saying how big the pixels are when you're coloring it in, right? Let's see if we've got any. So what often happens is you get these like artifacts when you do a simplification that makes these little islands and holes in your data, which, to be honest, the type of map we're making at the moment, people aren't going to be zooming in that close to see that, but I still don't like it. So what I do is I go and look for like very windy bits in the data and make sure it hasn't got any problems. It's also sometimes just good to do a little where is it? Where's the data? Where's the data check one? It's in here somewhere. Check fidelity. Just make sure it didn't break your data while it was doing it. All right, we're all good. Okay, that gets a bit crazy. We don't need all of that. Remove. Okay. Invalid output. Remove. Error output. There wasn't any errors, so that shouldn't even be in there. Okay, shouldn't have run that. All right, so we've got the simplified one here. So we're going to export this now, and this is what we're going to be using. So let's overwrite that one, save, overwrite the file. All right, now hopefully we'll go and check, and this is 50 megs, which, oh, hang on, did all color in. Hopefully this is 50 megs now. Yeah, 9.7, so we're all good. Sorry, I got a phone call. I'll turn that off and mute my phone. It was my daughter, who is only in the other room. It's got do not disturb. She's obviously got some Saturday morning laziness going on. So let's go into the Unmap podcast here. We're going to create this map. Let's upload the data. Simple, 3.9.7 megabytes. So let's open this up here. Hit the next button. And yeah, we've got a lot of names in here that aren't human readable. So what we're going to need is we're going to keep the name. We're going to keep the UNI because that's what we did for the join. And we're going to keep the population change and the total population for those. Okay. And then we're going to go and give them nice names now. So we're going to call that country. We're going to call that UNI. And we're going to call this population change. So this is something that happens in MapStack that's really important to us, where we prompt you at the beginning, clean up these names. Because if MapStack is going to be this hub for all the world's open data in future, and we're working with Geoguessing as our base data, we should make this data as accessible and user-friendly as possible. What we're also going to add in the future is the ability for like a metadata section where you can say, right, where did I find this data? Where are the links? And you can give any more descriptions to make it more helpful, a bit like the READMEs on GitHub. So the title is the country. Any of these averages? No, none of them are averages. Any of them percentages? That's a percentage. And all of them are number ranges apart from UNI. Okay, and then categories. We don't have any categories. What area does your map cover? Africa. What's the feature type? Country. What's the map topic? Demographics. And map. So then what we do is we suggest a name, like give it a nice name. And what I like to add on the end is a date. Maybe we should ask that in here as well. Continue. And what's going to be the default visualization? We'll have the total population. And let's hit submit. And there we go. We have our map of Africa. Got a few holes on it. It's already made and it's on the Unmap workspace. So if any of you like to have a play with it, go ahead and do that. While we're here, let's do a couple of quick filters. So we already know what the big countries in Africa are. Let's go and find the countries in Africa where the total population is... Oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't times this by 100,000. Dang. Okay. All right. I'll go and clean that up afterwards. Okay. So let's look at the fastest. Let's close this. Let's look at the population change. Where is Africa growing? Okay. So lots of population growth in Africa. So I'm going to wrap up this live stream here. I'm going to crack on my own outside of the live stream. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up that population number that we looked at because we need to times it by 1,000. And I'm also going to add some of the economic data in there. So the GDP and the GDP growth. And then we'll be taking a look at this map in the podcast That will be recorded on Friday and released to you guys next Monday or Tuesday. Okay. For those of you who watch, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you all next time. Bye-bye.